All right, I think that's good.
Hello, hello. Good. All right, everyone. Now we can see and hear each other, I hope. Thank you for being here. As I mentioned, we'll start with a warm-up. And what I want to do is start warming up, bringing more attention to the legs and the feet, and then we'll take our warm-up into the upper body. We'll start by taking the heel. Let's actually put the weight into the foot or the leg closest to the plant on this side. And as we post weight in this leg, we can pick up the heel of the opposite foot and then step that toe out a little bit and just start creating little circles here, pivoting on the toe. There we go. Just feeling a little movement in the ankle, a little circular movement in the ankle. And then go ahead and reverse that direction. Great. And then take the weight, post it on the opposite foot. And as you come up, lift the heel and circling here, creating little circles in the ankle. As we circle the ankle, we're hoping to move any tension and stagnation out of that joint. We'll reverse direction. There we go. And then place the foot back to the floor and bring your weight evenly on both feet. Roll the shoulders back, sit back a little bit in the heels. Good. And let's just shift our weight from side to side, feeling into a little bit of flexibility in the outside of the ankle. So we'll stretch those ankles a little bit. Try to keep the full flatness of the foot on the floor as we just shift our weight back and forth. Good. Now as we shift our weight to one side, shift the hips back. Let the arms fall where they may. Shift the hips to the other side, and then let's roll the hips forward, creating a little circle with the hips. The arms can just dangle to the side, noticing how they kind of flow with the movement of the hips. Or if it feels more comfortable for you, you can place your hands on your hips with the elbows bent. Good. Move as slowly as is comfortable, feeling into the flexibility or the lack of flexibility in this movement. We want to get a sense of a flow. So there might be points along this circle that we're creating around the hips, around the equator of the body, where it doesn't quite flow as easily. There's a little hitch in your giddy up, so to speak. Just notice those areas, and each time you come around to them, see if you can be more mindful of what's there without forcing anything. Just be a little bit more conscientious of a little hitch there that gets in the way of the flow. And then we'll reverse direction. Shift the hips over to one side and bring those hips forward and then back. Creating that circular motion. You're feeling it into the knees, into the hips, into the ankles, all the major joints of the lower body being addressed with this movement. Good. Moving some lymph fluid through the body. A lot of going on internally that we may not be aware of. We're just tending to the flow around the center of the body, and even noticing after a few repetitions that you're not even actually giving it much effort at all, but the momentum of this movement, the direction, has sort of taken on a life of its own. And the combination of the energy and the form, the body and the field around it are harmoniously moving through space, feeling a little bit more warmed up than in the hips as we come to the center now. And step forward with the foot closest to the plant again. Step back, make sure you can see my feet. Your front foot is straight, your back foot's turned at about a little bit of an angle, about 45 degrees. We'll sink down into the knees here. And as we bring our weight forward up into the pad of the first foot, the forward foot, we're going to bring the arms forward. Come up with a little bit of a bounce and then sink back. Good. And we're going to continue to repeat this movement. And our attention now on the pads of the feet. And we're waking up what's called that bubbling spring point. Just below the pad of the foot. It's the point where it's believed that energy enters the body from the feet. The earth energy enters the body at the feet, into the roots of the body, the legs. Good. Now, arms back. Good. Step up with both feet. Hands up. Step back with the opposite foot. Put it at a 45 degrees and do the same thing. You might feel as though you come up onto the pad of the foot, you lift the heels. There's a little bit of a challenge there for balance. That's good. We want to continue to challenge our balance, to strengthen our balance, and find our center of gravity. Keep bringing attention to the soles of the feet. Even though energy is rising up, you're still pushing down into those bubbling springs, connecting and staying connected to the earth, even as you rise. Good, starting to feel a connection here with the pads of the feet. Now step up, bring the feet together. Good. Step the feet apart again. Bring the arms forward and sink down. Good. Now shift the weight to one side and then the other. So now we have our feet a little wider apart as we're doing our posting the weight to one leg and then the other. And we'll let our arms get involved a little bit as we start to wake up. Not only the gates of the arms, but the gates along the spine. So as we shift our weight into the leg closest to the chair, bring the arms in the opposite direction. Good, and then slowly bring the arms center as you bring the legs center. And as you shift your weight to the other leg, let the arms counterbalance that and look across the direction that the arms are extending. Good, and it's again a fluid movement, so there's no stopping and no starting. It's just a nice fluid momentum of shifting our weight as we post our weight in one leg and then the other. You can see movement along the spine as we turn our gaze. We're moving through the vertebrae in the cervical section of the spine. Let's do this a few more times and really slow it down. Notice how much strength, control, and effort it takes in the legs to slow this down. Still warming up. Good. And without stopping, we're going to bring the circular motion of the hips into it. So as the arms come out to the side, shift the hips back, shift the arms forward. Good, shift the hips to the opposite side and shift the arms to the opposite side. Good, and then let the arms come center, back to the beginning without pausing. Shift and back. Let your gaze follow the hands. Nice and easy. Imagine your hands scanning the surface of water, feeling the coolness, leaving maybe a little bit of a wake where your fingers make contact with the surface of the water, and seeing that pattern develop. creating a circular motion around the body. Good. Only moving the hips back as far as you can comfortably. And then we'll shift and do the opposite direction. Arms float up. Good. Hips come back, arms come forward and around. Good. Let this movement morph into whatever serves your body. If you can't bend down as deep, that's okay. Just create something that feels like flow to you, that works all these major joints of the body. Nice and slow, 2 more. Come back to the center, shift the weight side to side. Good. We're going to push weight into this leg closest to the plant again. And then as we push off this leg, post weight in the opposite leg and step the feet together. Good. Bring the hands up, palms up, elbows back. Rotate the wrists, push back, push, and lift the arms a little bit. There we go. Getting a nice stretch across the shoulder. And exhale, sink into the heels, bend the knees, let the arms float up. Bend the elbows and sink down. Good, creating a nice transition here. Go ahead and come up onto the pads of the feet. Good, and give the body a shake here. Let the arms shake. Good. Shake everything out and then land softly into the heels, but keep shaking by giving a little bounce in the knees. Now bending at the elbows, let the hands shake. There we go. Shaking everything off the body that's not serving us, letting go of the stagnant energy, any compression along the spine and the joints. Let it go. Let the arms come out. Keep shaking. Good. Bring the arms overhead. Shake. Let the hands shake down in front of the face with the palms facing the face. And then turn the palms away. Keep shaking those wrists. Good. And then draw down next to the side. And just pause for a moment. Slowly stop shaking. Slowly taper the shaking to stillness. And then just notice how you feel. You might feel an internal movement, like a wave, your body adapting to that internal movement to stay upright. Let's rub the hands together so you can probably feel some energy in your hands already. We're going to accentuate that by doing some massage. Good. Go ahead, interlace the fingers, push down through the heels of the hands, stretch the fingers, push out through the heels of the hands in front, and then over the head, come up onto the pads of the feet, and then exhale down. Good. Let's take the hand closest to the plant. Place it in front of the heart. With the opposite hand, take that thumb, massage the center of the palm. Put pressure on the center of the palm. Your hands have reflex points all over. Every part of the hand connects to another part of the body, known as reflexology. Most of you know of this. I'm going to massage that Gong point at the center of the palm, where your middle finger, when you fold the fingers in, lands. This is helping us to open the sensitivity of the hand to the energy around us so we can direct it in and through the body. Good. Now from here, as you outstretch the arm, you're going to pull back on those fingers with the opposite hand and get a nice stretch on the top of the wrist. Good. And then pull that elbow back, next scrubbing the ribs, and take the fingers on top of the fingers, push out, stretch the underside of the wrist. Good. Bring the arms over the head, interlace the fingers, push up through the heels of the hands. And again, as you lower the arms, elbows are slightly bent, lower down into the heels. And we'll take that same hand, wrapping the index finger and thumb around the wrist. Go ahead and roll your index finger and thumb around the wrist, creating some friction, some heat on the wrist. And then let that movement wind up towards the elbow. Keep putting pressure, squeezing on the skin. Good, creating spiral energy into the tissue. Helps eliminate some of that metabolic waste in the body. And you're transmitting energy from the palm into the elbow as you wind that elbow into that heat. Good. Heating up the joint and then tapping around that joint, the muscles around the elbow, clearing any stagnant energy that might have collected there, and then scrubbing the top of the forearm. As you bend that thumb, create a nice little ridge with the knuckle, take it on top of the forearm, give it a good scrub, and then reach all the way to the shoulder, brush down the whole length of the arm. Shake out the arm. As I mentioned today in my email, we spend quite a bit of time on warming up and doing some self-massage. Same hand, go ahead and massage the whole hand with the thumb of the opposite hand. Start at the heel, go up the outside of the hand, the knife edge of the hand, and come all the way off that pinky, massaging. And then when you come to the end of the pinky, you're going to pinch the pad of the pinky and the nail and pull off the end, like you're pulling energy off the thumb, or the pinky. And then take the thumb and go from the heel of the hand up towards that metatarsal of that ring finger. Keep going off that finger, massaging, pulling, milking energy off the finger and making a little pop sound, like it's kind of satisfying. And then visually see a stream of energy flowing off that finger. Look at your hand and see if you don't notice these two fingers a little bit warmer than the others, a little bit pinker. And do the same with that middle finger. Get a nice pressure on that hand with the thumb. Come all the way up. Whatever feels good. Don't be too aggressive. Don't be too light. Just find that medium. Pulling off. Noticing what you notice. And go for that next runway. Up that index finger. All the way from the base of the hand. From the heel of the hand up. You've got this. Be creative. Be in touch with your own energy. And then the thumb. The thumb, as we come up, we're going to find a nice fleshy area between the thumb and first finger. We can give good scrub there, a lot of pressure too. Might even feel a little sensitive. It's okay. Be mindful and gentle. Sensitivity is just saying that there might be some stuck energy there, stagnant energy. Come off the thumb and pull it off and give it a good shake. So that thumb is used so much, we have no idea how much we use our thumb. Shake it sideways with the wrist. Good. And then just pause and notice the difference between the left arm and the right, noticing what you notice. It helps to close your eyes when we're landing our attention on our body to notice something. It's through sensation that the body is communicating something to us. We want to tune in and close out the other stimuli. So there's a lot of stimulation for the eyes when our eyes are open from the external environment. Visual noise, we want to turn that off or turn it down by closing or softening the gaze, looking downward. And that will turn our attention towards sensation, and we'll turn the volume up on sensation. Good. Bring the palms up, elbows bent. Scrub those ribs with the elbows, reach back, rotate the wrists, fingers pointing towards the waist, reaching back, stretch the chest, look upward, lean into the pads of the feet. Good. And then bend the knees, exhale, and let the arms float up. And bring that opposite hand in, facing you, taking the thumb of the opposite hand, massaging the center of the palm. Should feel good. You can also apply visual awareness to this and just seeing anything in the hand that's been stagnant or sore, kind of getting a lot of energy, and seeing the internal medicine activated in the hand. Now bring the palm towards the heart, cover with the opposite hand. Take the thumb, push back into the center, and then extend the arm out in front of the heart. As you pull back on those fingers, push towards me with the top of the wrist. Good. And everybody has their unique relationship to their flexibility in their joints, so be mindful of your own wrist flexibility. Squeezing those fingers back. Good. And then bend the elbow, scrub the ribs with the elbow again. And this time as you push out, straighten those fingers into the fingers of the opposite hand as you outstretch the arm. Stretch the underside of the wrist. Good. You can draw back and go less into that, or draw forward and across and be a little bit more creative and directional with this, depending on your flexibility. Bring the arms overhead. Good. Push the elbows back and press the arms out to the side. Let the arms come down, and then taking that same hand, index finger and thumb, winding energy around the wrist, clearing anything off this wrist. Wind up that forearm. See, going up towards the elbow as we continue to rotate. And then open the palm and let that heat from the palm energize that joint, winding around. Visually seeing maybe like a thread or a golden color light penetrating that joint, heating up muscles and the tendons and the ligaments there. Good. To release any metabolic waste that might be trapped in that. Give it a tap. Tapping is another way to bring energy to the surface of the body so that it can be circulated. It might be trapped deep down in some tight tissue, some contracted patterns. We want to call it to the surface so we can reintegrate that. And then scrub the top of the forearm. Good. It can either be with that first knuckle or second knuckle of the thumb. Whatever feels comfortable for you to get these movements in is perfectly fine. And then bring the hand all the way through the full length of the arm as we scrub. Energy off. Good. Shake. And then once again, massage the hand. Bring the hand and take it to palm facing you. Thumb of the opposite hand goes to the heel. And we go up that knife edge of the hand, giving it a good scrub all the way up and off the pinky. Visually seeing energy now. Not just coming off the hand, off the pinky, but all the way from the heart and down. Pinky's connected to the heart meridian. And then proceed. I don't know about you, but I definitely have a pretty pink pinky. Maybe that's why it's called a pinky, because it's connected to the heart, and the color of the heart is red and the energy's fire. Who knows? That just occurred to me. Now pull it off. Make that sound. It's just so yummy to make sounds with our Qigong. It helps move energy. Sound helps energy move. Just like when we do our breathing exercise, and sometimes we make sounds and sighs just to help the body clear energy, move energy. Good. So when you're doing a massage on your hand, you don't have to start at the heel of the hand. If you want, you can start up at the elbow, squeeze, and it's like you're milking energy all the way. And then give a little more pressure once you get into the hand on some of those reflex points. Most of you that are here in the book study, so you all have received the charts for the reflexology of the hand. If you're in class today and you don't have that chart and you'd like it, you can email me. I'll send it to you. So you'll know what part of the hand is related to what part of the body. So if you do some massage on the hand and you have some tender points, You can look it up in the chart and see what organ system or muscle you're actually detecting when you find these sensitivities, so you can work more directly with that area of the body. Squeezing on the thumb, pull off, and give it a shake. Wonderful. Nice. And again, we'll pause just to notice now what we notice. We should have a lot more energy flowing through the arms. And since our legs were kind of resting for a while, let's go ahead and post weight into that leg again, the closest to the plant, lifting the opposite heel. And this time we'll dance that heel back and forth, keeping the energy moving in the legs. Shifting to the other side. Good. Come back, posting weight, shaking the body. Now we're all warmed up for our practice. Let's take the arms overhead, reach up, inhale. Good, and bring the hands down, exhale. Imagine calling heaven down to earth. This is the blending of the yin and the yang. And as we bring our hands down to the yin field, by the navel, we're going to imagine tracing a big ball around that yin field and going down towards the earth, and then pulling from the earth and drawing that energy up from earth. And once we get to the heart field, we'll reach out and gather from heaven. Good, and bringing heaven down. So we were speaking about circulating the heat from above down into the legs, into the roots, into the dark soil of the earth. And then we're going to reach down into the earth, grab the nutrients, the coolness of the water deep within the earth, and bring it up. Make an offering to heaven of the water element. Now, when we're working with the water element in the body, we're working with all the memories. Memory is stored in the water. So we want to be offering all the memories for this lifetime and this body and this incarnation back to heaven, back to soul, if you will. And then bringing the energy of heaven down, the wisdom of the soul down into the body to remember the gifts, the offering, the destiny, if you will, of what the soul has come to bring, what the soul has to bear on the body, through the body, as a creative instrument. And just continue to do this movement in silence for a few times here. Feel a little sinking in the legs as we bring our attention down closer to the earth. Things get heavier. Gravity pulling us down into the earth. Draw from that earth. Help raise the earth up. Evolution. And as we come up, gravity subsides and we have levity, and we feel our arms reaching up like wings, hugging the soul energy, calling it home to the earth, into our homes, into our lives, to our bodies, into conscious awareness. Good. Grab that earth energy, and this time bring it up to the heart as you cross the hands over the heart. And then just place your hands on the collarbone, almost like your fingers are curling and resting on the collarbone. And close your eyes for a moment to integrate. And then brush down the arms and find your hands connecting at the yin field, just below the navel, and drawing a circle over to the right side, across and down the left to trace the pathway of elimination. So we are eliminating anything that's in the way of the soul finding its home in the body, offering its creativity to the earth. And then as we pause just below the navel, we'll separate the hands, pull across the chi belt, rest the hands into the back and up a little into the kidney. And let the heat of the hands penetrate the kidney, and imagine seeing yourself smiling at the kidneys. Call them the kids, like you're praising the children, thanking them for their service, for their way of bringing energy to your life, sustaining your youthfulness. And just see and feel those kidneys taking in that appreciation. Feel the heat that's being generated between the hands and the kidneys. We want to bring heat to the kidneys since they are the water element. They tend to be cool. They like to be warm. Now let your hands trace down the back of the legs as you bend forward. And let's just come to the back of the knees and then around to the inside of the knees as we come up. And bring the hands up to the heart and opening up, the heart spilling out and over. Hands come back, elbows scrub the ribs, lean back, pinching on those kidneys like you're giving them a little massage, putting some pressure there, and then turn the palms over and set down into the roots. Good. Keep your energy in your roots. Keep your attention on your feet, pushing energy through the feet into the earth. Simultaneously, bring your arms forward and reach up to heaven. So you're moving in two opposing directions. You're moving your feet to the earth, your roots into the earth. You're reaching your branches up to heaven, stretching the front of the body. And then bring the arms around, palms facing upward. Crossing at the heart, uncrossing and bring the hands, palms up, elbows back again, stretch the front, and then set. Sink into the roots. And again, inhale, arching the back in extension here. Keep the elbows bent, looking upward if that's safe for you. If it's uncomfortable on your neck, look forward, or if for any reason you're getting lightheaded, keep your gaze at the horizon. Let the arms come around in front, crossing the wrists, pulling back. A nice hello to the kidneys, turn the palms over and set. Do that a couple times silently. Good. One more time together with guidance on the breath. Inhale up. Visually seeing heaven enter. Exhale, wrapping heaven around. Inhale, open the heart field. And exhale, bring that energy home to the infield. Take the hands interlacing at those thumb points, pull up and around, and circulating this energy at that point just in front of the kidneys, and imagine wrapping it around the navel, and the navel being like a straw, creating a vacuum where the kidneys can draw the life force energy into the body. Now pull the hands up and around to the back and down the back of the legs, hinge forward. Draw energy circle around the feet and then trace the meridians up the inside of the legs as we come back up. Bring the backs of the hands together to the heart and fold the arms so that you're opening up that heart space. Good. Now separate the arms out to the sides. Extend the arms wide. Good. We're going to reach the arms up, inhale, and start curving everything towards the center, bending at the elbows and letting like a fountain of energy flow down the center of the body. Good. And then turn the hands away from each other as you reach up. Continue this movement and noticing how the energy flows along the center of the body, down the spinal column. You want to see that your hands are magnetic and the energy in the field is magnetic as well, so that your hands are moving slowly through the field, collecting energy. And then you want to see that as the hands come together in the yin and the yang, connecting, that they're guiding the energy through the center of the field, the access point. Just like the earth has an axis and everything revolves around the axis, we have an axis, and it is the spine, A-X-I-S, axis, like a north and a south pole, an entry and an exit point. We're giving direction to this energy and showing it where home is in our body along the spine. All the intelligence of the nervous system and along the spine know exactly what to do with this energy. All we have to do is guide it into the center, and it'll be distributed as needed. Now let the arms come up shoulder level, come out in front, cross, and then turn the palms downward and pull across like you're pulling something open, pushing outward through the heels of the hands. Good. And then as we bring the hands down towards the earth, we'll let the backs of the hands come together and do the same thing in the reverse direction. So we have the field spinning in the one direction from above to below, and now we're creating a second field, the yin field, from below to above. So we have them both going simultaneously, complementing one another and meeting in the center of the spine. So as the arms come down, the elbows are bent and everything is soft, and you fold forward. Visually see energy collecting around the hands. See it now pulling up the legs, up the center of the spine, up through the crown and over the head. And we'll do this 2 more times slowly, without direction, without audible direction, but energetic momentum. Might start to feel a little shaky in the legs. That's normal. It's common. It's just energy moving through areas that might have previously been dormant of energy. Let the arms come down, creating a ball of energy at the navel. Holding that energy, expanding and contracting. And we'll do something for springtime for the liver and the wood element, called silk reeling. Turn the ball of energy so that one hand is on top and one is on the bottom. As you inhale, stretch the energy that we've been pulling along the spine up, and then compress and contract it down, and let your fingers come together And you're reaching down, looking down, and you're connecting the fingers and then spinning those elbows inward. And then as you spin them outward, you're going to pull a golden thread up along the spine. And then you're going to take the hands and reach them in the opposite direction. Let your thumb be on the index finger, and as you stretch your arms out, let the thumb trace from the index to the middle, to the ring finger, and then finally to the pinky finger. And then let the hands come together as you sink into the roots. Good. Inhale, stretch that energy as you rise out of the roots. And again, sink and sink all the way as the fingers come towards each other. Look down, connect the fingers, spin the elbows in. Good. And pulling up and reeling a piece of silk from the earth up to the heaven. Good. And then winding that silk around as you move the thumb across the pads of the fingers slowly. Good. Takes a little time and attention to get this. And open the palms. Bring the yin and the yang of the palms together. Sink, pull, and stretch it apart. Feel the energy rising and falling along the spine. Reaching down, grabbing that treasured thread, squeeze and pull deep and up. Thinking about the spiral energy, taking the delicate threads from the earth, those seeds that are sprouting out into creation. Good. Let the pads of the thumb trace the pads of the finger. Coming back around. Catch the energy with the palms open. Sinking as you compress the energy, like contracting and releasing. Good. One more time, draw the energy down. Find those fingertips connecting. Spiraling in and spiraling out. Lifting upward. Offering the seed from the center of the earth up to heaven, and letting all of the intelligence of heaven and earth work together to conspire on behalf of that seed and bring it to fruition through all the stages of growth and development into the flowering and the fruiting, the ripening. Turn the ball over. Good. Take the hands and clasp the fingers. Pull and press. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Good. And then bringing the hand closest to the plant towards the body and down. Spreading out, fertilizing those seeds. Good. Switching sides now. Bring the opposite hand in closest to the heart as we bring the energy and the blessing from heaven down, fertilizing the seeds that we're planting. And think about what those seeds are for you, using your imagination and your visual capacity to imagine what are the seeds that you're planting for your life at this time. What do you want to see come to fruition? In the spring, we plant the seeds, and for the rest of the year, we'll cultivate those seeds. And one more time, bring it down. Spread out joy, visually seeing harvest time in abundance. Bring the hands together without touching, and as they come down closer and closer to the heart, let the hands touch, interlace the fingers, push out through the heels of the hands, round the spine, sink into your hips, to your heels, push through the heels, push down into the soles of the feet, bring the hands behind the head, elbows go back, chest comes forward, and exhale, push. release the arms. Good. Bring the palms up in front of the face. We're going to take the fingers and place them on either side of the neck for a neck massage. Now, as we do so, we're going to just let the head tip to one side as we put pressure with the fingertips into the side of the neck. And you can adjust the position of those fingertips if you need to, if it's too intense. Good. And just go side to side. We're starting with the fingers as low as you can on the neck. And then moving the hands and the fingers up a little bit as you continue to rock the weight of the head from side to side, feeling the pressure of the fingers penetrate the muscles on the side of the neck. Working those fingers all the way up towards just below the ears. And then moving the hands a little lower and going back to the starting point. And we'll penetrate the muscles of the neck. Good. And then take the hands and release and shake a little bit. Roll the shoulders back. Good. And let's take one arm and reach across the opposite shoulder and then use your hand as a tool to massage the trapezius muscle. And then give it a tap. So we've done a lot with our arms, and then just brush down and come across into the opposite hip, shake. Other arm comes across, reach in and give it a good grab. Massaging and kneading the muscles along even the side of the neck into the trapezius muscle. You can even take your opposite hand to support that elbow if you need that support. It just helps. And then give it a tap. Remember, breaking up any compression, and then let that hand trace down across the chest to the opposite hip. Shake that out. Good. Take the hand, either side, and reach across with the thumb on the same side. Place the fingers on the opposite side of the neck. You're going to squeeze on the muscles of the neck and pull towards the back of the neck, towards the spine. Again, reach across as far as you can with those fingers. Put pressure and pull towards the back of the neck. And pull all the way down. And to the center and shake. Other side, reach across, give it a good pull all the way back. And across the back of the neck. You can do this anytime. You don't have to wait until you're doing Qigong to do this. Anytime. These are simple, basic exercises you can do to release stagnation and increase flow in the body. Good. We'll come up onto the pads of the feet again. We did this in the beginning. We'll do it again. And this time do it with a little bit more aggression as we lift up onto an aggression in a good way. And totally optional if it doesn't work for you. Up on the pads of the feet, bend the knees a little and go ahead and give it a shake. Now, when you're ready, if you want to try this, go ahead and land on your heels and just let your body reverberate and feel the reverberation of that landing in the bones until you feel a stillness. Yeah? And do it again. So it's like, think of it like striking a tuning fork. You hear the sound strong at first, and then it fades and fades and fades. And even though you can't hear it, it's still making its tone when you put it up to your ear. And you just wait until that subtleness is gone. So we'll land in the heels. You can actually hear the impact and then feel the impact in the body, even if you need to close your eyes to feel it. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your arms a little, and come one more time up onto the pads of the feet. Good. Keep yourself up on the pads of the feet. Bend the knees a little. Good. You can modify and keep your heels low if you need to. Lift your arms up and lower your arms down as you straighten the legs. Bend the knees, lift. This is a good challenge for balance. And lower. Again. And lower the heels. Good. Bend the knees, reach down like you're grabbing a ball. Now you're going to post your weight in the leg closest to the plant. Good. And lift that same arm as you keep the opposite hand where it is. Okay. So it looks like this. Balancing. So we're lifting the same arm and the same leg, and that hand of the opposite side of the body is on the pointing towards and directing energy to the inside of the knee. Good. And then pause and come down. Shift the weight to the other leg. Come up. Balance. Now if you need to, you can keep a toe on the floor. Shifting, sinking, good, and rising. Opposite side. Sinking, 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 rising. Good. Now here, if you have that balance and control, we can roll and stir the ankle, releasing compression from our practice. Landing, sinking, sinking, rising, rolling through the ankle, reversing direction, and stepping out. And sinking, 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 all the way to the earth. Press the earth with the palms, straighten the legs. If you can't quite straighten the legs, it's okay, keep the knees bent. If you can't quite touch the floor, just rest your hands on your thighs. We'll draw a big circle, gathering earth, pulling it up the inside of the legs. Pulling up. This is a form of self-massage. Even though we're not touching ourselves, we're massaging our field. Over the head, behind the head, front of the shoulders, down the back of the body, all the way back to the earth. Wrapping around and pulling up the front. Finishing off here. Bring the hands behind the head, pushing out. And take one hand across the infield, up the opposite side, underneath the arm, over the top. Brushing the side of the neck and the cheek. Let the opposite arm come under. Finding the underside of the arm, tracing the meridian. Energy byways. Turn the cheek, brush the side of the neck and the face. Pressing out. Extend the arms out in front. Good. Crossing the arms. And let the hands once again cross. Good. Start tapping on the lung points. Good. And whichever arm is on top, extend it. Good. And tap down. The inside, up the top side. Good. Get into the armpit around the breast tissue. One more time, down the inside. Up the outside, calling all the energy to the surface now and bringing the energy into the field. It's called the Wu Qi field, our immune system. Take it up to the hip, into the qua, around to the kidneys, down the back of the legs, tapping. Up the front of the legs, tapping. Down the back, or excuse me, the outside of the legs, tapping. Keep tapping up. Good. Up the side and torso. Cross. Good. To the opposite shoulder and brush down. Sweep the arms over the top. And let the hands land on the collarbones, opposite arm in front, if you can remember, and tap. Good. Extending the opposite arm. Keep tapping on that lung point. Good. Find the top of the shoulder, go down the inside of the arm, tapping. Tapping can be done with a soft fist, as I'm doing, or an open palm, like so. If you prefer the brushing, you can brush around the breast tissue, One more time, down the inside, the outside, underneath and down the side of the torso, cross. Tap both sides on the hips, into the quad, into the kidneys, into the glutes, close to the tailbone, and down the back of the legs. Up the front of the legs, down the outside, up the inside. Pause at the quad. Hold. Hook those fingers together. Wrap it around. Good. Shift your weight into left leg. Push off the left leg. Step the feet together. Hold and close your eyes for a moment. Resting in the inner stillness, which is actually both stillness and movement. Feel your body adapting to the inner movement to support yourself in remaining upright like a bamboo in the wind. Bring the hands up, over to the right hip, down the outside of the right leg. Sweep under the knees, up the left side. Around, down the outside, all the way down to the ankle if you can, around to the opposite ankle and up. Again. Wrap around the navel. Come back and do it the opposite direction. Start with the knees. Good. Give yourself a little turn in the waist, all the way down the outside, around the front of the feet, all the way up. Over top the navel, closer to the heart, this time all the way down. Around, this time all the way up. Up, up, up to the heart. Hold. Good. Move your hands a little further away from the heart, creating a fist, covering, bowing, and acknowledging yourself for showing up. Integrating your physical, mental, emotional, and energetic bodies for the benefit of all. Thank you for being here. Let's see who's here and how things went for everybody.